Hi there, it's Datila, and welcome to the Just Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, December 18, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about AEW Dynamite. Okay, so tonight's Dynamite was AEW Holiday Bash, so it was a special themed Dynamite. And it kicked off with a Orange Cassidy and Jay White interview. Now, they were talking about their main event match, which was a trios match. It was them two and Hangman Adam Page versus the Death Riders. Of course, like Jay White talks about how like he wants the world title, and like Hangman interrupts and basically says that Moxley belongs to him and no one else. And then I think Jay White tells him that he at least bought a jacket to their matching. So this is an interesting way to kick off AEW Dynamite. Can they coexist? Yeah, they did the whole can they coexist storyline. And the reason why I thought this was interesting is normally Dynamite does not open with an interview. They usually open with the match. So this was an interesting way. Then we had two promos back to back. And one was Darby Allin and one was Will Ospreay. Darby Allin's was just short, sweet, and to the point. It was he said it was all himself versus Ospreay, and it was showtime. And basically, Will Ospreay was also talking about his match, and he said that he's going to show why he's on another level. Now, this match was the match that I was looking forward to seeing, and I feel like that should have main evented over the trios match, but that was just my opinion. I'll get more into that when I get there. So the opening contest ended up being a TBS title match, Mercedes Monè versus Anna Jay. Also a nice change of pace because normally the women's match is like on the last hour of Dynamite. So again, it was nice change that they opened with the women's match. Now that's usually one of the biggest complaints is that the women's match is only like on the last hour of Dynamite. We're still only getting one women's match. It's like 2024. AEW was founded in 2019, and we're still only getting one women's match. I would think that by now we would have two women's matches on Dynamite, but I guess not. I guess we're still regulated to just one match. So I thought this was a decent match. It was obviously predictable that Mercedes Monè was going to retain here. I don't think she's losing her title with her big title defense at Wrestle Dynasty. But now that Anna Jay has lost to both Mariah May and Mercedes Monè, where does Anna Jay go from here? You know, I mean, she can't make another claim at the world title because she lost to Mariah May. Now she lost to Mercedes Monè. So we'll see, but like I said, it was pretty obvious Mercedes Monè was going to win this, and Chris Statlander's watching from the back, so it seems like the stuff between Chris Statlander and Mercedes Monè is not over. Same old for Mercedes Monè. Yeah, it was decent. I did like the fact that she paid homage to Eddie Guerrero, which we all know is her like hero. She did the Three Amigos and then the Frog Slash, and then she did Eddie's famous move. So that was really nice. Okay, so we had an FTR segment, and Cash and Dax are basically talking about the Death Riders and about how like they basically stopped them from poisoning Orange Cassidy, but they're not medically cleared to compete until January 1st. They're gonna fight the Death Riders and won't be coming alone. So I wonder who they're gonna bring alongside them. What do you think that FTR would bring to fight alongside the Death Riders? Can't think of anybody. I mean, maybe I know they were doing something with the Outrunners. Maybe they'll bring the Outrunners. I don't know. I can't think of anybody that the FTR could bring to. Or actually, you know what? They probably won't even bring anybody. When they say they won't be coming along, they probably mean they won't. They'll probably be bringing like weapons and stuff to fight the Death Riders. I could see that, rather than bringing like somebody else. You hope it's not the Bucks? Who knows? Like, it could also mean that they're bringing weapons. It doesn't necessarily another tag team. It just means weapons. Or who knows? Maybe they might bring another tag team. So we get an MJF segment. And he's basically... he says that he doesn't care what people think, that if he cared about what people thought, that he would have joined the Washington Wizards. And I think it's so funny that the crowd, they chant, "The Wizards suck." Now I don't know much about the Washington Wizards here, but that's their basketball game, their basketball team. So they must be pretty terrible if their own hometown say that they suck, or chanting that the Wizards suck. So I like the fact that he sings "It's the most wonderful time of the year," which I thought was pretty cool. Now, obviously, you guys know MJF is Jewish, so he talks about how Hanukkah is the most important holiday and says that Santa is not real. And again, the crowd just starts chanting for Santa. He talks about how he started a fundraiser, which he wants people to picture a small child. Now, he had like sad music playing in the background. He asked for that music to be played in the background. And he talks about how he wants people to picture a small child who is starving and needs food and nutrition. And he shows a pic. It ends up being a picture of Adam Cole, baby. Obviously, a photoshopped picture of Adam Cole, baby. So he talks about how if you want to help Adam Cole, baby, you need to scan the QR code and buy World's End, because part of that money will go to his foundation that will help the yellow child be put out of his misery. I already bought the World's End pay-per-view. Like, I bought, like, I don't know if you guys, like, buy pay-per-views off Thriller, but, like, I bought mine off Thriller, so it's like I got a combo deal. I bought it, the combo deal for All In, All Out, and I did the combo deal again for Full Gear and World's End, so I don't have to, like, buy it again. So we find out, like, on the Titantron, like, the Undisputed Kingdom and Adam Cole, baby, appear. And basically, they're going to wrestle for the Dynamite Diamond Ring at World's End. And he says that Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are going to be there to ensure that, like, MJF doesn't cheat. But this is just a video. Like, it's not, like, live, because, like, Adam Cole appears from behind and he attacks MJF. But MJF, quickly escapes from the ring. So I feel like Adam Cole's probably going to beat MJF. Like, he says he's going to finish this at World's End. So I think he's winning. I think he's going to take that Dynamite Diamond Ring, because, as they said, MJF has had that Dynamite Diamond Ring since 2019. We also find out that Kenny Omega will return to AEW soon. But first, he's going to show up at Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th. And there is no return date given for Kenny Omega. So I wonder how soon after, Wrestle Dynasty, is he going to come back to AEW Dynamite. So we get a Jamie Hayter promo. She's talking about Julia Hart. I thought Omega was going to New Japan. He is. He's going to go to New Japan first, and then he's going to come to Dynamite. But that's why they didn't announce a return date. We don't know when he's coming back to Dynamite. So basically, in this promo, she's, like, challenging Julia Hart to a match at Fight for the Fallen. And she's going to serve her a heavy dose of haterade. We had the Patriarchy. He said he doesn't need to go to AEW that fast. Exactly. So, like, I could see him staying in Japan for a bit and then coming to AEW. So we don't know when he's going to show up. As I know, return date was given or announced. So the Patriarchy versus Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. And this was an okay match. Like, it was okay. The Patriarchy win because Mother Wayne caused a distraction and Christian Cage hits a kill switch to Shibata. So this whole feud has been because, like, Christian Cage and the Patriarchy attacked Taz. And that's why, like, they've been feuding. Like, honestly, I guess I would have liked it better if it, like, ended up being Hook that attacked his own dad. And then it had, like, a Hook versus Taz, like, father versus son. I think that would have made a little bit of a better storyline. So Mariah May is basically cutting a promo on Thunder Rosa. She says that Thunder Rosa was a social worker and has no idea why she decided to become a pro wrestler, which is true. Thunder Rosa was a social worker prior to becoming a pro wrestler, and she gave up being a social worker to become a pro wrestler. And, like, for those of you who are not in the social worker field or even in the social service industry, like, being a social worker is, like, a tough job. It's no joke. Like, you work long hours, stressful hours for little pay, or you do so much and you're not compensated enough. It's very stressful being a social worker and being in the social service industry. So I could understand why she stopped being a social worker. It's a very stressful job. She basically says that heroes are just dreamers who don't realize that they're dreaming. Now, she talks about how, like, if she had been there 4 years ago, Thunder Rosa wouldn't have gotten hired. And she tells Thunder Rosa to bring her father because they're gonna have a Tijuana street fight match at World's End. And she asks if being a failure runs in the family. So I actually really liked this promo. That was, like, a really good promo, really good heel work by Mariah May. Not only did she diss Thunder Rosa, she also brought up her dad, which is not something you do at all. You don't bring up someone's parents. So I'm pretty sure Mariah May is gonna get paid for that at World's End. We had a Ricochet in-ring segment, and before he can even, like, say anything, like, he gets interrupted by the Hurt Syndicate. I wasn't a huge fan of this because, like, they did this whole setup just to lead into Shelton Benjamin's match, which I'll talk about right now. So you guys remember, like, MVP gave Ricochet a business card. And he's basically, I guess you could say, sucking up to them. And MVP rips up that business card and basically says, no one likes a kiss ass, and Ricochet leaves the ring. But again, they did this whole segment to set up a Shelton Benjamin's match. Like, I wonder if this Hurt Syndicate Ricochet stuff is gonna go anywhere. So we get the Continental Classic Blue League match. It's the Beast Mortos versus Shelton Benjamin. Ricochet is going heel. Yeah, I definitely see that. But would he really join the Hurt Syndicate? I could see him as being a part of the Hurt Syndicate. Although that would be really interesting. I thought this was a decent match between Shelton Benjamin and the Beast Mortos. Shelton Benjamin was victorious. And then afterwards, the Hurt Syndicate attacked the Beast Mortos. Apparently, Rouge and Jalisco are not there. So he was out there by himself. So, like, Mark Briscoe, Daniel Garcia, they came out to the ring. And basically, Shelton Benjamin held up the TNT title. So he's making his intentions known. He wants a TNT title. And I feel like he's going to take it from Daniel Garcia at some point. Rather sooner than later, I should say. So after this, Ricochet is once again interviewed, but this time he's interviewed backstage. And he talks about, like, the business card, and he's just not worried about that. What he's worried about is the Continental Classic. He gets interrupted by Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. Now, Swerve Strickland says that it was only a matter of time before the true Ricochet showed himself. Actually, he called him Trevor, which is Ricochet's real name. So he said it was only a matter of time before the real Trevor showed his face. And Ricochet brings up the fact that Swerve Strickland didn't bring the Continental Classic last year, and it's going to eat him up inside knowing that Ricochet wins. So, yeah, it does seem like, based on what happened in the ring and based on what happened here, that he is going to go heel. So it's going to be interesting to see a heel Ricochet. We get Toni Storm, Portrait of a Rock Star. Now, Toni Storm has been killing it. You know, I really like the Timeless character. So it seems like she's reverting back to her old rock star Toni Storm. And I think, like, she just doesn't remember, or she has amnesia about everything that happened prior, because during this, like, she introduces herself to RJ City and she talks about how, like, she's been grinding it on the indies, which led her to AEW. And like, RJ City, like, brings up her history with AEW, and she's like, oh yeah, she's seen every show from the start and is happy to be there. He brings up the fact that she's a 3-time AEW Women's Champion, but she says it's too early to think about that. He brings up Saraya, Mariah May, and Mercedes Monè. Now, Toni Storm, she's got no recollection of any of these women, so she calls Saraya a legend, Mariah May the best in business today, and Mercedes Monè is an icon. And she says it's Toni time, not timeless. And just RJ is just looking all confused in this segment. He's just like, what? So it seems like this character that she's portraying just doesn't remember anything. I think it's Toni Storm is still timeless and she's just this in disguise as her old self. That's an interesting theory, that you think she's timeless and she's just okay. That would be interesting. I mean, timeless Toni Storm did kayfabe retire. So we'll see, but that's interesting. Let's wait and see, but I'm digging this. Toni Storm's done some fantastic work and she's given it AEW. I really like the timeless character. And I really did like her story with Mariah May. We get the Continental Classic Gold League matches. Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin. This was, in my opinion, match of the night. Like, this was like my favorite match in the entire tonight's show. This was great. The spot that had me worried was when Will Ospreay did the Styles Clash off the ring apron to Darby Allin onto the outside. It looked like he got injured. I hope he didn't get injured, but that looked like a really nasty fall. It seems like he was okay afterwards, but it just, at that moment, it was not a good fall. I also like when Darby Allin countered the hidden blade with the code red. That was really cool. And I was really surprised by the fact that Darby Allin was victorious here. He won after he hit the Scorpion Death Drop and a coffin drop. 2 coffin drops. So, I was really surprised. I honestly hope we get to see Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin again outside of the Continental Classic. It'd be interesting to see if Will Ospreay wins then. That coffin drop that Darby did on the ring apron was hard. You heard that smack on it. Oh yeah, that's true. There was this one spot where Darby Allin did the coffin drop. I think Will Ospreay was on the outside and he missed and he landed on the ring apron. I was like, oh my god, that had to hurt. But this was great. This was arguably my favorite match of the entire night. And if you missed it, you need to go watch it. So the main event ends up being the trios match, the Death Riders versus Hangman Adam Page, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy. The best match of the night. Pay-per-view quality. Yeah, definitely. Pay-per-view quality. Now, this match, like Michael 101591 mentioned earlier, is can they coexist? Now, Hangman walked out in the middle of this match, and it's because he didn't really care for Wheeler Yuta and the rest of the Death Riders and Claudio. What he cared for was for Jon Moxley. He wanted Moxley. He made that known. Like, he was supposed to start the match against Wheeler Yuta, and he didn't want that. He literally tagged himself out because he wants Jon Moxley. So he just leaves. He abandons Jay White and Orange Cassidy in the middle of this. So it essentially becomes a 2-on-3 handicap match. He comes back and he goes after Jon Moxley. And just as he was about to do the buckshot lariat, like, Orange Cassidy intercepted and hit Jon Moxley with the orange punch. And you could just tell Hangman was just pissed that Orange Cassidy had the audacity to get in the way of his buckshot lariat. So he ends up hitting Wheeler Yuta, but was he aiming for Orange Cassidy and just Wheeler Yuta was just a casualty? We won't know. But in the middle of this, like, Jay White and Hangman Adam Page just argue. And while they're arguing, they fail to see that Jon Moxley's pinning Orange Cassidy. So the Death Riders win this, and they're still, like, Hangman and Jay White are still arguing, and then the Death Riders surround them, and the brawl breaks out. That's basically how Holiday Bash comes to an end. So over on a scale from a 1 to Sean Spears' perfect 10, I thought this was a pretty decent show. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't as bad as Sussex so boring. I thought this was a pretty decent show. I really liked the structural changes that they did. They had like an opening interview, the 2 promos, they opened with a women's match. Like I said, these was nice changes. Oh, and another thing too, I will say, the arena that they were at, it would actually look really nice on TV. It looked full, like, they should stick to using the venues that they use today, because it looked really great on camera wise. Alrighty then. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I don't think I'll be reviewing TNA tomorrow because they're doing the best of 2024. So if I don't see you guys tomorrow on Body Slam, I'll definitely see you guys back here Friday after SmackDown. Bye.